Freedom or death? I would rather be a rebel than a slave. I had to get a close-hand view of the misery and unhappiness of a man-made world before I reached the point where I could successfully revolt against it. We were called militant, and we were quite willing to accept the title. We were determined to press this question to the point where we could no longer be ignored by politicians. You have two babies, two very hungry babies, wanting to be fed. One baby is a patient baby and waits indefinitely until its mother is ready to feed it. The other baby is impatient and cries lustily, screams and kicks, and makes everybody unpleasant until it is fed. Well, we know perfectly well which baby is attended to first. That is the whole history of politics. You have to make more noise than anybody else. You have to be more obtrusive than anybody else. You have to fill the papers more than anybody else. In fact, you have to be there all the time and see that they do not snow you under. The influence of those who have got power commands a great deal of attention, but the wrongs and the grievances of those people who have no power at all is apt to be absolutely ignored. That is the history of humanity, right from the beginning. You cannot have civil war without damage to something. The great thing is to see that no more damage is done than is absolutely necessary, that you do just as much as will arouse enough feeling to bring about peace, to bring about an honourable peace for the combatants. And that is what we have been doing. Now, I ask you, if women can do that, is there any limit as to what we can do except the limit that we place upon ourselves? They have said to us, the government rests upon force. The women haven't force, so they must submit. Well, we are showing them that the government does not rest upon force. It rests upon consent. As long as we consent to be unjustly governed, they will continue to do so. Be militant, each in your own way. Those of you who can express your militancy by going to the House of Commons and refusing to leave without satisfaction, do so. Those of you who can express militancy by facing party mobs at cabinet ministers' meetings, when you remind them of their falseness to principle, do so. Those of you who can still further attack the secret idol of property, do so. There is something that governments care for far more than human life, and that is the security of property. And so it is through property that we shall strike the enemy. I say to the government, take me if you dare. But if you dare, I tell you this, that so long as there are those who are incited to carry out genocide, oppression, and ecocide, the destruction of human life, as long as that is at liberty, you will not keep me in prison. I incite this meeting to rebellion.